Hi, everybody. This is Greta von Kirschman. I am doing another Facebook Live, and this is something I've just recently started doing. So this morning I am going to read a poem for you, a poem that I wrote about a year ago, and I just hope you enjoy the poem. I'm going to, this is a low-tech version, right? Because I'm going to turn the camera on, and you're going to be looking at this photograph that I have hanging on my wall. Hi, Shannon. Oh my gosh, thanks for joining me. So it's low tech. You're going to be looking at this photograph because it just speaks to the poem. That way you're not just watching me read the poem. And so I hope that I speak loud enough. I hope you can hear me. I will be posting this on my website soon on a page I'm creating called the videos page. So here it goes. Again, I apologize for any technical imperfections that happen. I just hope that when I turn this, you will still be able to hear me. And I'm going to just start reading my poem. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for watching. All right, you guys, here it goes. It's going to take me a sec. I'm going to position the camera. So here's my poem. This poem is called Walk. Just days before Christmas, the campus nearly void of people, but one or two. A student who's last to leave for holiday break carries a large, somewhat weighty bag of laundry or refuse on his way away. And a groundskeeper, perhaps as glad as I am, to experience our place in this kind and quiet emptiness. It is a fine December day, not bitter, a jewel blue, mostly cloudless sky, generous the light of the sun. And yet here among the buildings and trees, the day also appears gray. The cold, still gray that blankets a proper winter day, that sometimes I have hated for how it illustrated my state of bleak despair, but at other times, as now, I am so thankful for and realize I'm in love with. It provides a perfect air for meditation, sets the stage for contemplating, for thinking, one of my favorite pastimes. Taking a walk is another of my favorite things, and this afternoon has brought me here, to one of the residential colleges of the university in our town. I followed my regular route, 2 blocks up a main street, still busy with cars. Turning right at the intersection, I visited hundreds, or reckon maybe 1,000 times. 2 convenience stores on either side, doing brisk business for decades already, save us repeatedly. With sandwiches, chocolate bars, beer and wine and bottled water. With cigarettes when I used to smoke, on an industrial scale. And with those few familiar people behind the cash register counters who come to know me and I to know them, and it is always good to see them again. On my walks, I round the corner past what was once an old-fashioned gas station, Ernie's, where my mother would bring her car in for service. The vintage building has been refashioned into a stylish restaurant, and Mom, too, transfigured into a different form, and so I let these dearest memories of what is gone wash through me, and they carry me, floating on into this life like a waking dream. Leaving the main drag, I strode past a row of young but robust trees, regarding them with deep admiration. Like most trees, they stand naked now, having dropped their leaves that I observed changing, from luminous green in steamy summer, then muting, then gradually becoming a deep burgundy that also glowed crimson if I caught the sun at the right hours. Watching the trees transform over months is a project I'm on, priding myself to be more awake to the earth, even more connected to time, to change, to movement, birth, life, death, and rebirth. I've set my mind on making less painful the letting go of warm seasons, on finding solace with the cold ones, and it is still early, but it seems that Winter and I have more than made friends. Just beyond the Arbor Row, I always turn left onto yet a more peaceful street. Making my way through this neighborhood, I examine each house, never stopping, trying not to look too nosy, but pondering each structure, the yard and shrubs, and how light might stream in through the windows, and what it all might say about the people who dwell there. I walk alone, but still often consider our shared humanity, and in a fleeting thought wish the dwellers well, and travel on. Today, instead of passing the dormitory complex that marks one edge of campus, along a narrow row across from the modest homes, I felt drawn to cross the boundary. A rush of anticipation, lightness, a spontaneous notion to explore territory unknown. Ascending a long set of white concrete stairs, stepping out onto the courtyard plaza, it is the first time I've seen these buildings' facades. Late mid-century moderns in red brick, black metal doors and window frames, all unadorned, all rectangles and squares and flat stretching planes. Dark tinted glass planes soar up the entire front of one commons building, with a 4-story tall portico held up by towering black steel beam columns. Critics of this so-called residential college have proclaimed it failed architecture, but I disagree. I am immediately taken by this constructed space, finding the starkness beautiful, and beauty in the idea that making new modern things, simple and cut loose from much of history's oppressive baggage, will create a better world. I can feel these thoughts embedded in these structures, their souls and the souls of the humans who design them, speaking to me, as architectures always do, telling me their stories, that we are not separate, but all part of one another, that we are here to try and try and try. Here we live, here we sleep, we eat, we take, and we give, we come, and we go. Now I cross the featureless plaza several times, making approaches to a few of the nearby buildings at different angles, appreciating how their composition in space changes as I move. Experiencing also how my being, my collective body and mind, feels as it relates to these comparatively huge containers, as they relate to each other and to the woods that surround on the hillside, and the ground, the sky, the light, and the voids that connect us all. Good, free, and grateful for it is not a given. Aware of the gravity of many goings-on in our world, tempered optimism about the myriad possible futures. At this, the far point in my journey, I make a few long diagonals down the grass-covered slope, adjacent to the courtyard's central concrete slab, and out through a passageway toward the north side of the complex. First, following the path that leads down from the terrace, then leaving it, I walk through the little corner of woods abutting the road. Thick, soft layers of dry brown-gray foliage crunch underfoot. Already nostalgic, but knowing I will return. After crossing the road, I turn back around, as I often do. As I often do at this point on my route, to take in the view one last time, the great fortune of this landscape made by man and nature. Then I turn again, heading home. Each step and each instant will be precious. This walk, this simple act, it has changed me. All right, you guys, well, that was my poem. Honestly, I have no idea if you guys could hear it. I will have to look through and read the comments and so forth. So I'll watch the tape, and if it didn't work, I'll try it again. And so I thank everyone who joined me and who listened to the poem. I really am grateful for your company, and I hope you guys have an awesome Friday and an awesome weekend. Love, light, peace, and power. Bye, you guys.